Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show podcast, coming to you from right here in our quaint little studio. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea. I'm joined in studio today by Ray Ora.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Jonathan Voico.
Hello.
Chris Carr is here.
Hey, guys.
And most importantly, you guys are here. Thank you so much for being here, making our little show a part of your day. And here's how our show's going to go. We're going to start off by talking about a few predetermined topics. Then in the second part of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. If you've got a thought, theory, opinion, or question for the show, go ahead and fire it on into our tip link at www.streamelements.com/JohnCampea/tip. And if it's something we deem appropriate to be addressed on the show, we'll answer your question in the last part of the show. Now, here's the good thing about this tip link. It's good 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So even if you're watching this show later on than in the day when we're not live, or if you happen to be one of the many people who listen to our audio-only podcast, you can also send in a question, and we'll just get around to answering it on the next episode. All right, guys. With that all down, let's get things started here, shall we? And we're going to kick things off with this. Remember the other day we talked about how that trailer dropped for the new Kathy Bates series, Matlock? Mm-hmm. And Kathy Bates has announced this is it. She's going to do Matlock, however long it lasts, and then she's hanging it up. She's retiring. And she's going to go down as one of the greats, and she's awesome. But I admitted, and I admit again, my whole life, even as a kid, when I would come home from school on lunch, I would pop on courtroom shows. I like courtroom procedurals. I do. And I remember as a kid, I would pop on like reruns of Matlock or whatever else happened to be on at the time. And this show is not a Matlock reboot. She just happens to be named Matlock, and they refer to the old Andy Griffith show in it. They say, yeah, I know, I got the same name as the old TV lawyer. So it's kind of like that. Anyway, the show debuted. And I know for our audience, it wasn't exactly, scheduled viewing. Oh my God, the new Matlock is dropping. Write that in the calendar. Like anybody has physical calendars anymore. Type that in my calendar.
I do.
Not
Matlock
many people
does.
did.
Matlock
Not
does.
many people pen this in. At least not a lot of people who would watch our kind of show.
That's fair.
Because the rest of the world watched the hell out of it. According to Deadline, this thing launched with 7.7 million viewers, setting a 5-year high for CBS, not counting shows that come on the Super Bowl. A 5-year high. Oh, and by the way, it's got a 100% Rotten Tomatoes rating. Now, I watched this show. I tuned in and I gave it a watch. Because again, I'm kind of a sucker for these types of shows, and I love Kathy Bates. So I thought I'd give it a shot. It's way better than I thought it would be. Like, I expected it to be cute, but a CBS show, right? Whatever. It was way better than I thought it would be. I love Kathy Bates' character. I love the whole case of the week kind of format that Law and Order would do and stuff like that. So it definitely has that. But then there's a twist. And I will not say what the twist is, but I literally out loud said, what the hell? When they kind of did a little bit of a twist.
She peeled an orange.
And I'm just telling you guys, like, unless you're just like closed-minded and like you're just whatever, but I'm telling you, maybe hop on Paramount Plus and give this thing a little shot, because it's charming and it's nice and it's funny. And again, kind of a twist at the end that had me going, oh my God, I cannot wait to watch this next week. And again, critics seem to be responding to it. The major outlets seem to really like it. And again, it's Kathy Bates. It's one of the all-time legends. So I am surprisingly, I never would have thought I'd be doing this, but I'm surprisingly sitting here to tell you guys, you should really check out Matlock. And
this
again,
network procedural.
7 points. When's the last time I recommended one of those?
Yeah.
A 7.7 million viewers, 100% of Rotten Tomatoes. And my recommendation, I really liked it.
This is going to be the death of streaming.
It's streaming's done.
It's over.
Well, no, it's on Paramount Plus.
And CBS has an app that you can stream things for free.
Once
on.
people know that this is on CBS proper, they're going to connect the cable again and get rid of all streaming.
That's right. I don't need Paramount Plus to watch Matlock. I can watch it on CBS.
Shogun,
Honestly,
I'm only watching this, man.
I think people forget constantly, though. CBS, for 16 years in a row, has been the most watched network.
Yeah.
Like, y'all's grandmas are tuning into shit, guys. Like, they love this stuff, okay? And Kathy Bates is a treasure. And we get Jason,
Ritter, John Ritter's son.
Back. Oh my gosh.
And Bo Bridges, Jeff Bridges' brother,
Is on there.
is in it. And again, it's just the court case was kind of interesting. And of course, they solved the case by the end. That's what these shows do. But again, it was better than I thought it would be. And I was kind of stunned to see the ratings numbers for it are huge. So give it a shot, guys. I'm just telling you, give it a try. I think you might be surprised that you like it. Anyway.
That's what my drug dealer said.
I was going to say something else, but
you.
we'll go with yours. Whatever you guys think, did you have a chance to watch it? Do these numbers pique your interest at all? I'm telling you, it's actually pretty fun. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's take a minute and talk about this, shall we? The movie theater chain I adored and dreamt of working for one day is my home country, Canada's main movie theater chain, Cineplex Theaters. You've often heard me talk. Most of my fondest movie-going memories are at Cineplex Theaters. And even when I started AMC and got everything going with AMC with their online division, my dream was that someday I'd be able to go back to Canada and do what I was doing for AMC for Cineplex. But then something happened. Cineplex became evil. And they started, in my opinion at any rate, and they started doing a lot of really crappy things. Really shitty things. I remember I noticed this one time, one of my regular trips back to Canada, whenever I go back to Canada, I would always take my mom and my family to the movies. And my mom wanted to see Aquaman. Right? Great. I liked Aquaman. Great. I'm going to take my mom to go see Aquaman. Now, one of the things Cineplex Theaters does, and most movie theaters do, is for like special theaters, like 3D screenings. They'll charge a little bit extra. I get it. That's fine for me. I never go to 3D screenings. I think 3D is a crappy, useless gimmick. But I was going to take my mom to go see Aquaman. And of all the screenings, all day, they had one 4:00 in the afternoon screening that wasn't 3D. They had about 7 or 8 screenings that were 3D. One at like 4 in the afternoon, non-3D screening, which number one sucks because 3D sucks. But number two was clearly just them trying to gouge more money and force their patrons. You want to watch Aquaman? It'd be a shame if you had to miss out on it because we're only showing in 3D when we get to charge you the extra $2 or $3. Anyway, really crappy. Then they've done a whole bunch of other things that I've talked about over the years. But now they're getting their wrists slapped, and I hope it extends to the United States at some point here too. Because one of the things that Cineplex would do is like, hey, buy your movie ticket for $5, and then when you go to check out, it's $6.50. Wait a minute, it said $5. Oh yeah, well, we got to charge you the $1.50 service fee for buying your ticket online. Service fee? Yep. What's somebody doing? Does somebody literally have to lift up a rock every time I buy a ticket online?
They get really fit.
What's this service fee? Oh, you don't have to pay the service fee if you actually come to the theater and buy your ticket with.
Yeah.
What?
I hate the online service charges that it's like, you did this to cut costs. Why am I paying you more for you cutting costs?
Yeah, so you're telling me if I do it the old archaic way, where you actually have to have staff at the ticket booth and I actually have to take up your staff's time, then I don't have to pay a service fee.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I don't get to pick my seat in advance. I don't get to see how full the movie theater is. I don't even know if the movie I want to see is sold out or not. I just go. But if I use the automated system, you're going to charge me extra as a service fee.
They got to feed the hamsters on the wheel that run the system.
Well, thankfully, the Canadian government said, no way. And they
what a hoser.
slapped down.
They sure don't.
They sound like a bunch of hosers.
Hoser. Mean.
They slapped them down and have fined. The Canadian government is fining Cineplex Theaters $39 million.
This is a job for Matlock.
$38.9 million. They're saying, because they're basically saying this is what in Canada they call drip pricing, where you deceive the customers. You make them think that the price is one price until they get to checkout and then find out there's more charges, more needless charges on top of that. Now, this also comes to us from the CBC, who write this. The $38.9 million fine Cineplex has now been handed is equivalent to the amount it collected from consumers through the $1.50 online booking fee between June 2022 and December of 2023. On top of the fine, the tribunal has ordered Cineplex not to engage in the same conduct that prompted the case for the next 10 years. The quote says, "It sends a strong message that businesses should not engage in drip pricing and need to display their full prices up front," said Matthew Boswell of the Commissioner of Competition in a statement Monday. "Businesses that fail to comply with the law risk significant financial penalties." Now, before I hear any, ass licker jump up and say, this is anti-business. No, it's not. It's pro-consumer. I love, you want to know one of the reasons I love our sponsor Game Time? Because before Game Time came around, I used to use Vivid Seats. And it would always drive me crazy when I'd buy a cup, Ann wants to go to a Laker game tonight. Great, I'll jump on Vivid Seats. Oh, there's 2 tickets for $100 each. Okay. Yeah, great. I'll buy that. They're pretty decent seats. Ann loves the Lakers. I'm going to buy those 2 tickets. $200, right? Go to checkout. $410. What? Because all these fees get added on at the end, but you displayed $100. And one of our partners, Game Time, one of our sponsors, they're not even paying us for this week. I shouldn't say their name, but Game Time.
Get their name out of your mouth.
One of the things I love about them, I swear this is not a paid sponsor spot. They're not sponsoring us this week. But one of the things I love about them is the price they put up, that's the price you pay. And I love that. I hate drip pricing. And it just is another example of modern movie theaters, not all of them, but many of them, engage in this drip pricing thing. They try, and it's not just drip pricing. They will find every way possible to try to squeeze every dime out of their existing customers. Their philosophy is not to bring more people into the theaters. Their philosophy is to get as much money out of the people who are still coming.
It reminds me of this thing that I did with Temu. I was looking up these remote controlled helicopters, and then I saw one for free. Just download the Temu app. So you
get a helicopter for free.
I re-downloaded it. I went on there. Oh, you have to buy 6 other items in order to get this free helicopter. That's but
that's not what they said before.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
If you tell the customer one thing,
right?
You got to be able, and that's what the Canadian government is saying.
Yeah.
And I'm sick of this whole thing. You know what I used to be addicted to? And I know I'm going off on a bit of a rabbit trail here. Used to be addicted to online games, not drugs.
Online drugs.
Because I know a
I
guy.
was about to be like, you are not addicted to anything.
No, I'm pretty
You've got that
straight
John
edge.
Mulaney energy of, I look like someone who's been eating saltines waiting to do this
John
show.
Mulaney energy.
I know. But he has that joke, right, of I know
yes.
I don't look like somebody who has addiction issues.
But I used to love getting mobile games. I used to play mobile games all the time.
Oh.
And then it got into, and then microtransactions took over. Mm-hmm. And then it went beyond just mobile games. It got into the mainline games, which is one of the reasons I don't play a lot of the mainline games, because one of the reasons Baldur's Gate 3 is the greatest video game of all time, because there's none of that nonsense. But anyway, drip pricing.
Drip pricing.
Thank you, Canadian government, for doing something.
Hey.
I now call upon the wusses of the American governments. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, the Green Party, the Green Tea Leaf Party. I don't care. Somebody do something about movie theaters price gouging, because I love seeing that the Canadian government is doing something about it. I would love to see something done here as well. But by the way, I never knew AMC does it too. Now, because I'm an A-list member.
Yeah, they do it.
Right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I found out that as an A-list member, they waive your convenience fee. Well, if you're charging my ass, it's not really a convenience, is it? But anyway, so I found AMC does it. Regal does
Regal
it.
does it.
They all do this bullshit. For an automatic system, an automated system, you charge a convenience
Ticketmaster
fee.
does it too. And
But Ticketmaster, they're the
Yep.
devil.
well, I know. But I'm just saying, they got it from them.
Yeah.
Now, did this case come about because of maybe the complaints. They got a lot of complaints, and they said, "Oh, let's look into this."
Yes,
Or
back
is
in
this-
2020, it originally, I think it first started rolling about 2022 when some people contacted the business competition or commission board and complained about it, and they did an investigation and said, yeah, this violates the law. We have laws in Canada about businesses not being allowed to do this, and they did it anyway. So anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I highly doubt that the American government's going to do anything, but I love the fact that the Canadian government is stepping in here and saying, hey, stop screwing the customers. Anyway, whatever you guys think about all this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, we still got a couple of other things we got to talk about, including Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan's new movie, Sinners, the new vampire flick, dropped their first trailer today. We're going to talk about that. And I'm actually a little bit surprised. Penguin, apparently, for HBO is a massive hit for them. We're going to talk about those numbers that they just put out. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick second and thank one of the sponsors of today's episode of the John Campea Show podcast, our friends at Miracle Made. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Miracle Made. Guys, it's hot outside and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. There are just so many things that make these sheets so fantastic. We already mentioned the self-cooling properties for better quality sleep, but they're also self-cleaning. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. So go to trymiracle.com/Campea. That's trymiracle.com/Campea to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Campea at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Campea and use the code Campea to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Campea to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. And thank you to our friends at Miracle Made for sponsoring today's episode of the John Campea Show podcast. All right, guys. That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? I think probably my wife's most number one anticipated movie is the upcoming Ryan Coogler film, Sinners, because it's Haley Steinfeld. By the way, Anne came rushing in the other day to the office, all happy, all excited, with her phone in her hand, almost shaking. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Haley Steinfeld's got a newsletter, and she'll pick a question from somebody who reads it, and she picked Anne's question.
Well, that's precious.
What was her question?
Anne, I can't remember.
Oh, come on.
I
This
don't
is his
remember.
orange peel.
I mean, but I
true.
mean, it's sufficient to say, like, Anne would leave me for Haley Steinfeld. Like, she loves Haley Steinfeld so much. So she was so an excitement level she has never gotten to about me. I'll just say that. So she was so excited about that. So she's been really looking forward to this movie. And of course, it's got Michael B. Jordan, where apparently he plays twin brothers, and they have dropped the first trailer kind of early. I think it's like still 6 or 7 months away. But they decided to drop the first trailer for Sinners. And I got to tell you, if I didn't know it was Ryan Coogler, I would have thought it was Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Did you get that sense too? It felt kind of like...
It feels so sinister.
Yeah, it's got that Jordan...
It felt like a Jordan Peele meets Andy Muschietti because I got some It vibes.
Yeah.
Yep, completely. So, because one of the things Peele does so well, like I'm not a big fan of Nope. I didn't like it all that much, but even in the one that I didn't like, one of the things Peele does so well is he leverages atmosphere, like so well. And like this trailer is just oozing that. And one of the things I love seeing directors get out of their sandbox. Because, I mean, yes, granted, there was Fruitvale Station, which he also did with Michael B. Jordan, and that's remarkable. But, you know, we've seen him do Creed movies and and Marvel movies and things like that. I haven't seen him do a horror film. And I love seeing directors trying new things and branch out. And to see Ryan Coogler doing a horror film, and then to see this trailer, and it's got all that atmosphere and all that creepiness and everything I would like it to be, and knowing it's a Ryan Coogler film. And I didn't know Michael B. Jordan was playing playing twin brothers in it, which is really kind of neat. And then the vampire showing up in the end. Anyway, I really liked it. Now, this comes from the Hollywood Reporter. For those of you who don't know much about the movie, it says this. The synopsis, which teases a new vision of fear. I feel like we've heard that before. But a new vision of fear reads, trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers, both played by Michael B. Jordan, return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. Haley Steinfeld, Delroy Lindo is in it too. I had no idea Delroy was in this till we saw the trailer come out. Anyway, Chris, you had a chance to see the trailer for Sinners. I really liked it. What do you think about it?
It's a great trailer, and I'm going to have to try to just put on my big girl pants and see this movie.
Oh, you going to do it?
I think so, because it looks so good. And I love when these two collaborate together. Like Creed was so good. Fruitvale Station is so good. And I do tend to like vampire stuff. Slashers are the ones that really freak me out, just because I don't think vampires are real, but mass
Do you love that
murderers
latest
are.
Nicolas Cage one?
Which one?
Long legs.
Oh, Longlegs, dude.
No, the
absolutely
vampire
not.
one, where he plays Dracula.
Oh, I hated that one. That was such a bummer. I was really excited about
Renfield?
that movie too.
Renfield, that was the
Yeah.
name
I
of
was
it.
so
Renfield.
jazzed about that because it also had my boy Ben Schwartz in it.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that's
man,
right, yeah.
that one fell flat for me. But I think I'll probably still just try to see this. This definitely does look really, really creepy. It looks really, really scary. And yeah, the way that they created atmosphere just in this trailer alone.
Yeah.
There is so much tension. There's so much drama already, and the story hasn't even really been unveiled. This is such a good teaser. It does feel like they dropped this so early, though, just to rub it in Ray's face that we don't have Blade.
Yeah,
You know what I find interesting is that I don't think they ever showed us really how the infected look or the vampires
Yeah,
look, right?
they don't.
No, they don't.
It's a
They're
big
saving
mystery,
that.
which is great.
A nice
because,
reveal.
Yeah,
Because
that's something you put into like a second trailer
Or not
2
at
months
all.
before the movie comes
Yeah.
out.
or not at all.
Oh no, you do.
You do?
Yes, you 100%. You got to sell the movie, right?
Because the way these vampires look are going to be a reflection of the director, right? What he wants to see them look like. Or do you think? So I'm just saying, is this Coogler's vision of?
Well, yeah. Well, look, at the end of they're going to look however the director wants them to
Okay.
look, right?
Okay.
So he's going to have an art department that's going to design them, but they will then bring the designs to him, and he says yes, no, yes. Same thing the way a costume designer will bring designs, yes, no, yes, no. Makeup people will come. This is what we think we're going to do. Yes, no, yes, no. Set design. So like there's like 20 different departments on a movie thing, but the director approves all of them. So Ryan Coogler is going to be fully in control of that. He's not going to design them himself, but he's going to approve the designs.
And this is outside his wheelbox that we've ever.
At least from what we've seen so far.
Right.
For all I know, as a teenager, he made vampire films with a home video camera. I don't know, but this is the first big film we've seen him do in the horror genre. And for me, that's got me pretty excited. Neon in the live chat is saying it's got a 40 Days of Night kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it did it. And I loved 40 Days of Night.
Well,
and this got a
that's
little
one
bit
of
of
the
feel of
best.
that too. I like that one as well. So yeah, this trailer's a winner for me. Guys, question is for you. Did you have a chance to see this new Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan trailer for Sinners? I thought it looked pretty slick. I mean, I don't know if the movie's going to be good or not. I mean, it's Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler working together. They've never not made a great film. So whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's talk about this, shall we? Penguin, of course, dropped its first episode a few days ago. And we talked about it a little bit on the show. I loved it. I mean, I was expecting it to be good. I was not expecting it to love it as much as I did. I mean, I just went crazy for it. And that ending, when you realize what his plan was and everything, I'm like, oh my God, this is so beautifully put together. The acting is top notch. I mean, there's already Emmy whispers. They just had the Emmy Awards, but there's already Emmy whispers starting up for this show and all this kind of stuff. Fabulous. But were people going to watch it? I mean, simply don't know. This is a spin-off show of a from the Batman a B-level character. I'm not saying Penguin in general is a B-level character. I'm saying from the movie, Penguin wasn't even the main antagonist. He's like second or third level down. I guess first would probably have been the Riddler. The second would have been Falcone. And under that it's like third level, B level, C level. Character from the movie getting a spin-off series. Are people even going to watch it? Well, according to a report in Variety, yeah, they did. As they're saying, Penguin opened with 5.3 million viewers across platforms first 4 days. Now, they give it some context. They say this. The Penguin is an ice-cold hit. Per HBO, the spin-off series starring Colin Farrell and Kristen Milioti opened to, by the way, she's great in this, opened to 5.3 million US viewers across all platforms in its debut on September 19th. That includes repeat airings on HBO as well as streaming viewership. That puts it above, get this. You know how popular Succession was? That puts it above the final season premiere of Succession, which drew 4.9 million viewers, and the second season premiere of that other insanely popular show, The White Lotus, which drew 4.1 million. It also just falls behind the premiere of True Detective Night Country, which I really enjoyed that, which nabbed 5.7. Now get this. Additionally, the show has landed the biggest 4-day audience for a new series on Max in every region globally since The Last of Us did in 2023. For a B or C level character spin-off show that the Batman is not going to be in and does not appear in. And it drew 5.3 million views, more than Succession did, more than The White Lotus did, and the biggest premiere they've had since The Last of Us, which we all knew that was going to have the biggest number. Yeah. But again, I want to emphasize, this was a series without Batman. This is the third level villain from the movie in a little spin-off series. And people clearly, I mean, Colin Farrell clearly made an impression on a lot of viewers when he was in the Batman for us to go over. I know I did. I mean, and right from this scene here, first scene of the movie or first scene of the show. And in the first scene, they had me going, holy shit. Like I could not believe how well put together the series is. Anyway, yesterday I was talking about how depressed I was that a great movie like Transformers 1 is not doing well. I love seeing that a show that is this good. And I'm not saying it's, Shogun, but a show that ended up being this good is getting rewarded with eyeballs. Now the question is going to be, did those 5.3 million people who watched it come back and keep watching it? Is word of mouth going to spread? Are we going to see the numbers go up? Are we going to see them plateau, which would be fine? Or are we going to see them start to dip? We will see. Anyway, Chris, you had a chance to look at these numbers. What stands out to you?
Well, they're not Matlock numbers.
No,
so
they're not. That's true. They're not Matlock
thing.
numbers.
That's the first thing. I'm so glad this is doing so well because it is excellent television. It is wonderful, wonderful storytelling. It's not just a great comic book adaptation. It is not just a great comic book character study. It's great TV. It is great mob drama, and I love it. It does feel like The Sopranos. It does feel like this kind of gritty crime show, and that's what it should be. And it works out so well. I'm so glad people are giving this a chance. And I think one, it being HBO helps tremendously because they turn in quality time and time again. And I think just the success of Batman and the success of Colin Farrell doing an incredible job in that film made people want to tune in. I'm so glad people are watching this. I'm so glad it's getting buzz. I hope these numbers just continue to grow for them because it's a really, really great series. And oh my gosh, I know I've said it each time, but Kristen on this is so good and scary.
She freaks the hell out of me.
She's terrifying. We got little hints of it in Palm Springs, right? Where she would go completely unhinged. But in this, she's so scary.
You'll see more.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
But, and look, I just got to point out, like, for somebody like me it's been a while since I've had like 3 shows running at the same time that I am legitimately really enjoying. I am legitimately enjoying Agatha, which I wasn't sure I would. I am shock and surprise really enjoying Rings of Power season 2. After the disappointment of season 1, I mean, I would have lost a big bet if you told me 4 months ago, hey, John, you're going to really like Rings of Power season 2. I would have lost that bet because I would have said no chance in hell. And now we got Penguin running, which is just really, really so good. I'm enjoying it. It's funny. You bring up the comparison to Sopranos. Mm-hmm. Look, obviously all things are subjective. Everybody likes certain things and certain people don't. I was at a party last night and met this person, was in a little circle, people conversing, those types of little social engagements that I loathe and hate, and I'd rather be at home on my couch watching something. But I was in one of those, and somebody brought up The Penguin, and this one guy goes, "Oh yeah, I heard it's a lot like The Sopranos." And I'm like, yeah. And then he goes, "Yeah, Sopranos is such garbage. It was so overrated." And I'm like, I hate this person.
You were like Chris Evans in Red One.
Oh yeah.
They were also
I don't
vegan,
like you.
which doubled it. No, I'm kidding. But it's like, yeah, I'm like, oh, I really don't like this person. I don't want to talk to this person anymore. But yeah, I thought it was great. Now, again, Chris, let me ask you this. So having seen the series and you look at these numbers that it got, what do you think the numbers will do? Like, do you think we're going to see, because this, for an HBO series debut, this is a big number. It's hard to go up when you start from such a big number, but do you see the word of mouth pushing it up? Do you see it going down? What do you think?
I do. I think as long as this show remains at this level of quality, I think these numbers should grow, because I'm sure there are people who are holding out on this. Right? Of just, I'm not sure. It's Penguin. Do I want to watch a whole show about Penguin? Batman's not even in it. I feel like we're going to see a nice steady climb here so long as the quality remains high. And I feel like it will.
Well, I hope
That's my
it does. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? It's a really good start. I mean, exceeding the numbers for Succession and White Lotus and these big hit cultural popstone kind of shows. What did you think? Do the numbers go up? Do they go down? Whatever you guys believe, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys, with all that down, let's go on to the most important part of our show here, shall we? Which is taking your live comments and questions. But before we do, we're going to take another quick moment here and thank another sponsor of today's episode, company I have been using for years, and I love them. I've been always recommending them, the good folks over at Acorns. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Acorns. Guys, everybody knows we should be investing our money. That's why it's an important priority to me. But there are several obstacles to getting started. First of all, a lot of people think you need a lot of money to start investing, or that it's complicated, or you need to do a lot of research. Well, our sponsor, Acorns, makes it simple. You see, Acorns makes it easy to start automatically saving and investing in your future. You don't need a lot of money or expertise to invest with Acorns. In fact, you can get started with just your spare change. Acorns recommends an expert-built portfolio that fits you and your money goals, then automatically invests your money for you. My own experience has been great. See, I actually started using Acorn years ago as kind of a first foot in the door to get started in investing. I set up the automatic deposits, and before you knew it, every couple of weeks I'd check in on it and watching my money grow. It was fantastic. So guys, head to acorns.com/Campea or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today. Client testimonial. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/Campea. And thank you to our friends at Acorns for sponsoring today's episode of the John Campea Show podcast. All right, guys, with that down, let's get to the important stuff. Jonathan, what we got up first?
Dr. Stinky. Hey, I get really annoyed with where I live because I live in a smaller area, and due to that, we have a Cinemark. That's it. And the pass sucks. Only one ticket a month. And we don't even get films like The Substance and Conclave. Sucks as a film nerd.
I mean, here's the thing about, look, the Cinemark deal, I like Cinemark. Their membership loyalty program is not as good as AMC A-List, as Regal Unlimited. It's not as good, but it still does offer value. Like, you are, as a movie fan, saving money if you have it, because there are other discounts you get as well. That being said, it really is unfortunate when you live in an area that has limited theater options, because, you know, a movie theater can't play everything. And they're going to want to take up their screens with the things they think are going to make them bring in the most people to sell more popcorn. And that's understandable. That's business. I get it. But yeah, it is one of the frustrating things about living in a smaller area. I'm sorry about that, man. But hey, at least you got a Cinemark there. There are some people who live in communities where they got to drive like 45 minutes just to get to any movie theater. Yep. All right, what's next?
Garden Variety Vagabond says, hey, John, I think Bucky wasn't in the original group in the trap because he is looked at as a step up. He may be broken, but otherwise A team. The others are B team, C team. Yelena is B and the rest are C. And Russell America is a failed A or B lister.
I don't know that I believe that. I mean, obviously Bucky is the most prominent out of all those characters for sure, but we see him with the group in many shots, and I don't really know that that's why we don't see him in that scene. And by the way, these movies, they will cut their trailers in such a way that they will hide a lot of stuff, even in the stuff that they're showing us. So I won't be shocked if we go into the movie theaters and find out that Bucky is in that sequence. They didn't actually show any shots of it though, because we do see him a lot of other times with him. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's not. I wouldn't put too much stock in that right now though, but let's see what happens once we get a second and third trailer. By the way, the movie is still ages off. Like, what is it? Like 7 months, 8 months
it's
away?
Like May, right? May.
So is October, November, December, January, February, March, 8 months away. I actually don't think they should have put out the trailer now, but I guess since they showed it at D23, they figured we might as well put it out. That's fine. But I don't expect we'll get another trailer for another 4 or 5 months. And once we do, we'll start to get a little bit of a better picture about that. All right, what's next?
Andy from Sarnia, Ontario.
Oh, I love Sarnia.
Just saw Transformers 1, loved it. I was wondering if you've ever checked out Netflix's Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy, Siege, Earthwise, and Kingdom. It's really great. If you've watched it, how did you like it? Still holds a 90 on RT.
I loved it.
I didn't love it.
The third episode was where it just went downhill for me. I could live with the first two. The first two were good. That last episode, I don't know what happened, but it felt like I was confused about everything.
I have to admit, I didn't love it.
You didn't even like the first episode?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was a waste of time or anything like that. It just never clicked. It never felt right to me when I was watching it. Like even I think maybe one of the biggest things, it just didn't feel like Optimus to me.
Right.
Like Prime just didn't feel like Prime. But again, that's me. I know other people that really, really enjoy it, and that's great. And again, I don't give it a big stinking thumbs down or anything like that. It's just, it didn't really click for me. I never went back to watch it again. All right, what's next?
Garden Variety Vagabond says, talking about cast members that are solid but not always well known or A-list. In front of Penguin was the trailer for Dune Prophecy. It showed one of each. Emily Watson as Vaelta Harkonnen is so amazing, and Mark Strong is so loved by genre viewers.
I will never not watch something Mark Strong is in.
He's so good.
He's great, right? Like now, granted, he has often been kind of pigeonholed into villainous roles, but then when you see him like in Kingsman, when he plays like more on the good guy side, I love him in that. But he's got a power. I remember he was the villain in one of the Sherlock Holmes movies, and he's got this power about him. He's just, oh God, he's so good. And even, man, I was kind of looking forward to seeing him do more or evolve a little bit in the because I liked him in Shazam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I was hoping to see more from his character and all that kind of stuff too. So yeah, he's great.
So
Can't
were
wait
they
to
with
see
that
him.
post-credit scene?
Oh, yes, yeah. It's like so much for that. All right, what's next?
Ken Anonymous Jenkins tips $20. Why do we invest so much attention to online comments from anonymous opinions and fuel it by doing so, unless otherwise known as reliable and identifiable? Says the anonymous. I don't think, and give such people the validity of time to give it to give mine to. It's frustrating.
That's how I feel about it.
Well, I mean, that's why 9 out of 10 things that come from anonymous places we don't pay any attention to. And I'll even not pay a lot of attention to a number of stories that come out that are based on questionable sources. Now, there are some I will address, and there'll be a couple of reasons why when I do decide to talk about one. First of all, I should note, whenever we do talk about one that comes from less than completely reliable source, we'll give tons of disclaimers. Like we'll always say, guys, this is coming from a place that we can't vouch for. Sometimes they're right, oftentimes they're wrong, whatever, all that kind of stuff. But if it's ever a story that comes out, or like a rumor or report starts floating around, that either A, I have heard something about that before, then I'll cover it. Like, for instance, I remember there's this one time there was a story that kind of came out, a rumor that was going around But like 3 days earlier than that, I had heard from somebody that I know something very, very similar to that. So I was like, okay, look, guys, I've heard this myself, so we're going to talk about it, right? Still give the big disclaimer, going to talk about it. The second circumstance that I'll bring it up and talk about it on the show is if I think it just makes for a very interesting topic of conversation. And I'll often say, like, how many times have you guys heard me say, now, when it comes to this topic, I don't believe it. But here's why it could be interesting if they did it, because we as movie fans, like, the John Campea Show is not a news show. We talk about the news, but we are not a news show. We're a movie community. We like to talk about movies and TV shows. And sometimes that will delve into, like, theoreticals. It's like, let's talk about this. This is an interesting topic. Let's talk about it, even though I don't think this is true or I don't think this is real. So, yeah, and that's why I think it's important, and why I always tell my audience, I've been doing this for years and years and years, is when you read a headline, if it's something that's like fantastical or whatever, don't just read the headline, read the story. And when you read the story, see where that place is getting their story from. It's find out who the source of it is. That's a very, very key thing. Because how many times have there been like a story would come out and people say, John, this has got to be true because like these 10 outlets are all reporting it.
Yeah, but they...
I say, yes, but if you read those 10
chain.
outlets, they all got it from the same questionable Twitter handle.
Yeah, it's just a chain.
Right? It's like, yeah, 10 outlets are covering it, but they're not confirming it. They're all just saying, we heard this from this place, and that place was the same place that all the other ones did. So that's why I always tell my audience, when you see a story, find out what the source was before knowing whether to or not to invest a lot of your brain cells into believing it or not. And there are times that there are things that come out that I don't believe, but I think are still interesting for conversation. But in general, though, I get what you're saying. I feel it. I feel it. All right, what's next?
Dr. Stinky has the two-parter. Agatha takes place in 2026, meaning Teen would be born in 2010. But I was watching New Rockstar's video on who Teen is, and he does seem like Billy. But my problem with that is if he was born in 2010, Vision couldn't be his father, or he'd be too old. So if they follow the comics, they could give the fans what they want by having Mephisto be behind everything. Remember, Billy is a shard of Mephisto's soul. So Agatha could still be in a spell, and Teen could be Mephisto's Billy, maybe not Wanda's.
Look,
It's comic books and their magic babies.
yeah, that's...
Like,
You can run logic circles all day.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the bottom line is you are left with two realities. In the one sane reality is the fact that it shouldn't be Billy because Billy isn't real, was never real. Billy was a figment of Wanda's imagination. And when she brought down her magical town, they disappeared. Poof. Also, Vision has no sperm. Just from what I've heard. From what I've heard.
allegedly.
Yes. He's got no soup goop, as Chris would say. No soup goop for Vision. No. Also, the ages would be all right. He's not there, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but that's the one thing. The other side of that is it's a comic book show. They don't have to follow logic. Like, they could say, oh, this is Wanda's kid. And we can bring up, that makes no sense because the kid wasn't real. The ages would be all off, all this kind of stuff, right? But they can say, yes, but in the fourth dimension of the Kirikos zone, a rippled portal opened through the dark anus of the whatever, and then poof and behold, he's here. That's what comic book movies and shows can do. So if they want to completely defy logic, we don't have to figure out how they're going to do it because it doesn't matter how they do it. They can make up anything they want and just say it happened, right? They can just say it happened. And we don't have to worry ourselves about trying to figure out what logic that they don't need to follow logic. So I still don't think he's Billy. I never thought Catherine Hahn's character was Agatha either when WandaVision was first airing. So I missed that. And maybe I'm wrong about this. That's fine. We're all speculating and theorizing. I still don't think it's Billy. But if they want it to be him, they don't have to worry about logic to make it him. They can just come up with anything they want. All right. What's next?
Ryan Jacobs says, I just left the theater watching Deadpool and Wolverine for the 20th time.
Wow.
Whoa.
It never gets boring to me. I can tell. I broke your record, by the way. My question is, most of my viewings were from AMC A-List. How does that help the box office? How does the studio get paid?
All right, we've answered this question several times, but the fact that it gets brought up so many times means it's interesting. Okay, so theoretically speaking, when you buy a movie ticket, let's say you buy a movie ticket for $10. The movie theaters in general, there's a lot of math that goes into it, but let's just super basic it. In general, the movie theaters keep 1/3. All right. So just to round out the numbers, if you bought a movie ticket for $10, the movie theaters keep about $3.33. And the rest of it gets shipped back to the distributors, that gets distributed amongst everywhere else. The way A-List works is that when I get a ticket using my A-List membership, from an accounting point of view, AMC will count that as one ticket bought at the national average ticket price. So again, it's actually a little bit higher, but let's just for argument's sake, for simplicity, say that the national average ticket price was $10, just so we can have a nice round number. So AMC will count it as a $10 ticket purchase, even though I got it for free using my A-List. So counting it from an accounting point of view as a $10 ticket, AMC then must send back that $6.66 back to the distributor. So every time, theoretically, I use my A-List, AMC has to cut a check for $6.60 some odd cents and send it out. Now, to a movie theater like AMC, because I'm paying AMC $25 a month for my A-List, okay, once I go to like 5 or 6 movies in a month, and I will do more than that, AMC is losing money because they're having to send more money to the distributors than I'm making them with my AMC purchase. But the reason it's still worth it to AMC is because my value to them is not from that $3.33. My value to AMC is not that $24 they get from me a month for using my A-List. My value to them is Hungry Hippo Campea standing at the concession stand buying his fucking bucket of popcorn and soda. That's where they make their money. So they're perfectly fine writing that $6 check and sending it off to the distributor because, sucker boy over here is going to come over and buy a $9 bucket of popcorn because I can't help myself. And so that's where they make their money. So that is how the studios and the distributors continue to make money when I use A-List, because AMC still got to write that check and send it off to them. And AMC makes their money because they get my monthly membership and they know I'm going to use the concession stand. So the more I come to the theater, the more checks they got to write, but the more concessions they're going to sell. So that's how it is a win-win-win for everybody. I end up saving money. The studios still get their money, and AMC still makes their money. So it's kind of a good situation for everybody. Hope I didn't make that too confusing. Anyway, that's that. All right, what's next?
Anonymous says, hope you get to see Happy Valley, which inspired Mayor of Easttown final season, which finished last year. In the UK and other countries, it classed as high as Breaking Bad or Shogun. 100% critic rating. Jamie Lee Curtis wrote it, being a masterclass of acting.
I've never heard of it. I thought that isn't that a video game?
Happy Valley.
Happy Valley, where you're like, you run a farm or something like that?
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley, that's it.
But it is a happy valley. Although you can make your valley haunted.
Can you?
Yeah,
Those
you can
drama
skeletons and stuff
Really?
can come out and get you at night. Mm-hmm.
I've heard it's kind of like the closest comparison I heard people say Stardew Valley is to Animal Crossing.
Very similar.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like farming and decorating your house and shit.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like cozy Skyrim.
I liked Animal Crossing. I got a little hooked on the last Animal Crossing.
I never got into it.
Anne used to play it as a kid. So when the new one came, here's the key. The new one came out in the pandemic.
Yeah.
So we were all at home. Anne logged thousands of hours on that game.
I just kept rearranging my real furniture, and then That made me feel good because like Logan just kept playing Skyrim and decorating libraries, and I'd be like, look at all these real books.
Well, once in Skyrim, once you start building your own home, you really want it to look good.
It's true.
You know.
Yep, got to get it just right. All right, what's next?
Cody Hunt Film says, went to a special screening of Megalopolis tonight. I regret to inform you I had to walk out about halfway through.
Oh, no.
It just wasn't for me. Every performance was over the top. Bizarrely crafted world. 4 to 5 other people walked out in the first 30.
Well, I mean, look, there's something that is true about all movies. No movies for everybody, right? No movies for everybody. There are people, I found out last night, that don't like The Sopranos. There are people out there who don't like The Godfather. There are people out there who don't like Star Wars. I mean, no movies for everybody, and that's perfectly fine. But we could all tell that Megalopolis was definitely really not for everyone. So it's probably going to hit, my guess is, really well for some people and really not for a lot of others. I'm still very curious to go see it. I think the trailers have been a hot mess. I think the way they've managed this movie is a hot mess. I think basically they've done everything with this movie wrong. Outside of the movie itself, but the whole machinations around the movie itself has been completely botched and completely mismanaged. It's a masterclass in how not to do things. But it's still Francis Ford frickin' Coppola. So I will still go and give this thing a shot because it's him. And hopefully I'll like it. But yeah, clearly it's not for everybody. Sorry you had to walk out, man. That's unfortunately. All right. What's next?
Okay. Slarter Bartfist says, hey, John and crew, longtime listener, first time writing in.
Thanks so much.
I'm a massive horror fan. I'm currently writing a horror script. I watched The Substance on opening night, and it was one of the most visceral and unique movie experiences of my life. And is not getting nearly enough buzz. Wanted to thank you for your wealth of wisdom. I feel like I've learned so much about the movie industry watching your channel. What is your favorite body horror movie that isn't The Thing or The Fly? Thanks so much.
What would we qualify as body horror?
I guess Mutations or...
Yeah, so you're talking like the Human Centipede.
I think I already know.
What's that?
I mean, why wouldn't Werewolf... what the hell is it in London? American Werewolf in London be body horror.
But would that be considered body horror?
What he does, bodies and what his body does.
Pretty gross.
That's
one of the nastiest turnings into a creature I've ever watched.
Oh, it's still my all-time favorite horror movie. American Werewolf in London is my all-time favorite horror movie. I love that. Patrick is bringing up a movie called Malignant that came out a couple years ago that everybody loved. I thought Malignant was stupid. I really didn't like it, but a lot of people loved it. Absolutely. One of my best friends absolutely adores and loves that film. Species, somebody's saying Species. I don't really count Species as body horror. Again, Human Centipede, but I'm not.
Oh my God, one? Tusk.
I was gonna say Tusk, the one where he turns him into a walrus.
Yeah.
Tusk. That's definitely body horror.
So sad.
Or Justin Long.
I know.
Yeah. I'm not really sure. It all depends on what we would qualify. I need to have a list of them in front of me. I think I'd have to have a list in front of me.
But it'd be kind of weird to have a list of body horror in front of you.
All right.
Rob
Same time.
has one.
What's next?
LJ says, hey, crew, anime adaptations are starting to become more prevalent in Hollywood. A couple of popular titles that would translate well and don't require a huge budget are Stein Gate, grounded horrifying time travel. I know you dislike it. And Monster. Doctor has to choose between saving a boy or the mayor, leading to a serial killer mystery. If Chris is there, she might be able to tell you a bit more about these titles.
Nope.
I could see these more as mini-series, but possibly films.
I haven't seen either of those.
Me either.
Wow.
That second
But
one,
is
Monster,
anime-
sounds interesting.
Is anime being turned into live action really becoming a trend?
I mean, it's happened like a couple times.
There's
I've
a
seen it
couple of
happen.
examples,
Yeah.
like One Piece, and what else has there been?
Yu Yu
whatever
Hap-
Netflix has released.
What's that?
I was saying whatever Netflix
Netflix
has
is
But what
released,
is
yeah.
Netflix put out?
Cowboy Bebop,
Cowboy
Yu Yu
Bebop.
Hakusho.
That's right,
I
Cowboy
mean, would
Bebop. That's
Avatar
right.
Fullmetal
count?
Alchemist.
Avatar. Well, Avatar's a
kinda not
polarizing
really,
thing, 'cause
right?
then but other people say it's not really anime.
Yeah,
because
a
it's
lot
Western.
of people will be very adamant that
Yeah.
Avatar is not anime.
People are going to be
sure.
like, bro said Avatar. Does he even know
Yeah.
movies?
Do you know anime? I mean, I think there's a lot of great stories that you could adapt into live action, but also at the same time, why do you need to do that? Like,
Because I'll tell you what.
just let it be an anime.
Now,
No.
One Piece is an exception. One Piece I surprisingly liked. Actually, I like it more than the animated version.
Yeah, 'cause
I
there's
think it's
3,000 episodes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically inaccessible.
I really like
I'm
it.
never gonna
But
finish it.
Cowboy Bebop was a big flop. Remember they did Death Note?
Wow, someone literally
Death Note
just
was
wrote
so
Death
horrible.
Note.
That was terrible.
It was really, really bad.
And it's
And they
such a
got Willem Dafoe to be the voice of the demon.
yeah, and even he couldn't save it.
He sounded great. Actually,
Yeah.
he sounded and looked great. He
Just
looked-
creepy
but
looking,
it was terrible. So but here's the thing: One Piece they could do because One Piece is wildly popular.
And,
Again, 3,000. I don't think I've ever heard of any of these things.
and you know what's crazy that Netflix has been doing lately as the reverse of that. We're getting a Tomb Raider like anime and a Witcher anime like.
Yeah, they're taking live action properties and turning them into
that too. But speaking of the Gundam, the thing we watched the other day, Requiem for Vengeance, that's a different style than usual Gundam anime is. I do like that they're switching it up with those properties too.
Again, I didn't like what we watched.
Yeah,
it looked
but
like a
this
video
look
game
is-
cutscene.
it looks good to me. I can't wait to see it.
One that'd be really cool to adapt, talking about procedurals earlier today, is this show called Erased. It's a time travel murder mystery that is really, really great. It's so well done. I highly recommend people check it out. I think it's still available on Netflix. Otherwise, you'll be able to find it on a different streamer or something. But that would be something that I think would translate well because it part of the issue with translating anime to screen is Western sensibilities, anime sensibilities, things like that, where sometimes something like as cool as I think the Yu Yu Hakusho live action show is, it's not for everyone, right? Because it does feel very anime-esque. One Piece, it works because they lean into the anime-ness of it, and if you like that, you like the show. If you think it's too goofy, you're not going to watch it, but it works with that kind of storytelling. Erased is super, super grounded and very, very realistic, so that's something that makes sense to go into being a television procedural.
All right, what's next?
Callum says, "Hey, John, I watched your documentary on the weekend and really liked it.
Oh, thank you.
Will you do more documentaries like this in the future? Also, didn't know Jonathan edited till the end. You did great too. Thank you."
Aw.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into details. But I had my next documentary lined up. Although I wasn't going to direct it. I was approached and I decided I was going to come on as the producer of it. And we had already started laying some groundwork for it. And I was very, very excited about doing it. And it may still happen. And then unfortunately, the main person I was going to do it with, their wife suddenly passed away. And the wife and the mother of their children and passed away. And I mean, obviously that takes precedence over everything else. And at that point, the documentary we were going to do, I haven't spoken much about it, kind of came off the rails. Now, maybe at some point, I mean, this person and I still stay in touch, and at some point they may want to get back on this and do it again. If they ever do, I'm here, I'm ready to do it with them. But yeah, we even started some of the preliminary groundwork of getting the documentary pulled together, and then that happened, and yeah, it was really unfortunate. All right, but thank you for watching my documentary. I'm assuming you're talking about movie trailers, love story. If so, thank you so much for checking it out. I appreciate that. All right, what's next?
Amin says, "Penguin is easily one of the best premieres I've seen in a while. How would you compare it to other great premieres from recent years, like Last of Us, Shogun, House of Dragon, The Boys, Chernobyl, Succession? Any of those top it? Did I miss any big ones?"
I think a couple of those top the Penguin one. Yeah, you're talking about some shows that had some premieres that were just gangbusters.
Yeah.
Penguins was great. I would still say Shogun's topped it. I would still say House of the Dragons premiere.
Chernobyl, I mean, come on.
Chernobyl. I mean, it sucked you in so much right away. But I mean, it's the very fact that we're putting Penguin in that conversation is impressive. I still think the greatest series premiere I ever saw was Heroes.
Yes.
The Heroes premiere. I mean, I've told this story, but I had a date, a first date with let's just say I was really excited about this first date. And my buddy dropped off a perfectly legal CD-ROM with the episodes of Heroes on, because I hadn't been watching it, and there were like 7 episodes in. So he said, "You gotta check this out." So it's like a Saturday afternoon. I'm like, "All right, I'll watch the first episode." That first episode of Heroes was so good, that I kept watching it to the point that I was risking being late, and then I had to make a choice. Do I keep watching it, or do I cancel this date that I'd be insane to cancel? And sure enough, I picked up the phone and go, "I don't think I can make it out tonight."
Well, you had to save the cheerleader to save the world.
You got to save the cheerleader if you're going to save the world. So I chose the world, damn it. That's how selfless I am. I chose the world off of what would have certainly been a remarkable date. But anyway, I gave it up for Heroes because that first episode was so good.
But at least the show wrapped it up perfectly.
Oh, let's not even talk about what happened to it after season 1. But season 1 was great. All right, what's next?
Future Man says, John, have you seen the show From? It's MGM Plus show, but you can watch it now on Prime. Season 3 just came out, and it's already great. Some of the same writers, producers, and cast from Lost. And part of this show, I describe it as Lost meets horror. Thoughts? I've definitely heard it From.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I, right before season 1 came out, which I thought looked interesting, because I forget the lead actor's name in it. He was from Oz, and he's in Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh yeah, he was Mercutio.
I keep forgetting his name, but he's marvelous. He's fantastic.
Is
Anyway.
it,
You got it?
Harold.
Harold Perrin?
Yes. He's fantastic. I love him. So I was already kind of interested in it when the previews were coming out. And then I got contacted by the studio behind it. And I won't go into specific numbers, but they offered to pay me an ungodly amount of money to put up 3 tweets about it. And I didn't even have to say, and I just had to say, "Hey guys, don't forget tonight From comes out, blah, blah. I'm watching From tonight." And then a week after that, or I think it was like for the season 1 premiere, "Hey guys, I'm going to be watching the season premiere or the season finale of From tonight," and blah, blah, blah. 3 tweets. Didn't even have to do anything on the YouTube channel. They just wanted me to put out 3. This is back when I still had my Twitter. But, oh yeah, it's the most money I had ever been paid to do a promo. And I was totally upfront. Like this is sponsored. This is promo. I was very transparent about it. But yeah, they paid me a sick amount of money. I could have bought a car with the amount of money they paid me to put out 3 tweets. I don't know why those offers still aren't coming in, but but I legit loved the first season. Like, I legit loved it. But I never got around to watching season 2. Even though I loved the first season, I never got around to watching season 2. And, you know, it's funny you bring that up now, because we were out with our buddy Tommy the other day, and he just finished season 2. He's like, "Are you watching From?" I'm like, "No, I haven't kept up after season 1, but I loved it." Once you see it, go, "Dude, season 2 so good. Season 2 so good." So yeah, I got to get caught up on that, because I really do like the show. It's great. It's really, really good. All right, what's next?
Okay, we got Matan who says, "I hope that Disney's new CEO will be revealed soon. Iger returning was like Celtic Shack, and I hope that the new CEO will be an outsider like Eisner back in the day, as Disney is in dire need of new blood. Just stop relying on nostalgia."
No, I think you're wrong about that. I think, like, you very well could go out and get new blood, yes. But having somebody who knows Disney and knows the people, that would also be incredibly advantageous. Look, Bob Iger has single-handedly saved that company after they almost rapidly got taken down the toilet by Bob Chapek and the way he wrecked shop inside. He has got them back on solid footing, both from a creative point of view and everything else too. So that's all going well. But it is time. They got to be moving here to get a new CEO in place. So again, I don't really care who they get. as long as it's somebody who understands Disney's culture and understands putting people in place who are experts at what they're in charge of. That's one of the big failures of Bob Chapek. He started putting his foot soldiers and his loyalists in positions of certain power that they had no idea of. And like one of the greatest examples, of course, is in our area, talking about the movie world and entertainment. He literally stripped the studio heads of all their creative power and made them answer to his banker lackey. He created a whole new layer of middle management, so all the studio heads had to report to his banker lackey, who ultimately had say over what got made, where it would go, all that kind of stuff. And he took that power away from the creatives. All that has been restored. So now Disney's in a much better place right now, so that they're hopefully handing something in a much healthier state, hopefully. Still hasn't 100% recovered, but to a new CEO. Again, it doesn't need to be somebody from the outside. I would almost say they should go inside. They did that with Bob Chapek, and look how that turned out. But they picked the wrong person from inside, as it turns out. But a new person from the outside, inside, I don't think they need to go outside, though. I really don't. They might, and it could be a great person, but I don't think it's what they need to do. All right, what's next?
DJ Info says, hi guys, I suggested doing a courtroom drama with Gotham Skin on it and Harvey Dent as the lead. Ray and John didn't seem too keen. By the looks of it, this is what they have done with Penguin with good results. Soprano Skin with Penguin, but no bats. But he exists in that world.
But he existed in that
Gotham
world already, right? Like
he wasn't he was like a kid still.
Yeah, and what are you going to do? You're going to go back to that well now? You're going to make all these other things like in the world of Gotham without Batman? I think Penguin will stand like as unique in that. And they tried to do like a cop sort of centric thing with the Fox show Gotham. And that was quite frankly hit or miss. They had some episodes of that show that were great. And a lot of it was missed though. So no, I personally wouldn't be interested in that. They're doing something unto it, like with Penguin, looking at from the criminal underground. But that's because in Batman, we've never got to look at it from their point of view. We've never got to see the world of Gotham from the criminal's point of view, from the underworld's point of view, from somebody like Penguin's point of view. We've done the people fighting for law and order in Gotham thing before. And I think that's why this was working, and I wouldn't be all that interested in that other thing. But that's just me. I'm sure a lot of other people would be. All right, what's next?
We got Anonymous with $100 tip.
Whoa.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Anonymous.
Good morning, everyone. In Rings of Power, I'm very impressed by Charlie Vickers first playing Halbrand in the first season and playing Anatar this season.
Is it the same guy?
I think he was recast.
I thought they recast it. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think the two are the same.
I thought Halbrand was recast in season 2.
No, Halbrand is Anatar. Anatar is Halbrand.
There
It's
are
the same
they're
actor.
all Finkel,
I thought
yeah.
I know the character's the same person.
the actor.
But I thought they switched actors.
No, the only actor that they recast is what's his
Penguin.
face?
Not the elf.
Oh,
orc.
Oh my God,
Why can't I
Adar.
think- Adar.
Adar.
Thank you.
They did recast Adar?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
different Adar, but they look very similar.
I
The
thought
makeup
like
really-
I knew Halbrand is Anatar, but I thought they switched
I
actors.
could have swore I read
No,
the same
he's got
thing.
a
Yeah,
wig,
okay.
a wig and contacts.
Someone's
and
been
he's
lying to me
clean
out
shaven.
there.
Well, they did a really good job with the prosthetics on Adar because I didn't even notice it was a different guy.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Anyway, yeah, listen, I had almost no interest in watching Rings of Power season 2. After season 1, I almost had no interest. It's been a long time since I've been this pleasantly surprised. I can't remember the last time I've seen a TV show turn it around like this. I mean, honestly, I can't think of another example where I really was quite disappointed in season 1 and then suddenly like really started to enjoy the next season. I'm sure maybe there are a couple examples. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. All right, what's next?
All right, Scooby Drool has a 3-parter, but at least his first one's $23.
Oh, thank you, Scooby.
Hi, John and Fantastic Crew. I want to thank you and your crew for last week in recommending some movies to watch when I was depressed. I saw some films I considered good, happy watches, Kubo and the Two Strings,
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Dreamer from 2005, Forrest Gump, and Forces of Nature from 1999. I also watched The Pursuit of Happiness that stars Will Smith and a young Jaden Smith. That movie brought tears and happiness, made me feel better and have a better outlook on life after seeing The Pursuit of Happiness. Part 3, it got me wondering, I want to change my job and career. Thinking about going into graphic design, computer coding, video game developer, or something with computers. 46 years old, soon to be 47. Is it too late to study a new career? Never is my short answer.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's not. No way. You are never too old to start learning something new and embark on it. Listen, I've had several career changes in my life. I used to run a web design company, and then I switched gears, and like I used to do work in theology, and then I switched gears and went into web design, and then I switched career and started working in the visual effects industry. And then I did decide to pursue law till I was like 30. And then started getting involved in law, and then found, movie blogging, and then that became my new direction. And then from movie, it was less of a leap going from movie blogging to working with AMC and doing video and stuff like that. But still, that was a pretty big change for me. And doing that, and like, listen, absolutely not. Is it too late for you to do that at all? There are people out there that need smart, gifted people. And if you find something that you have that you find you're particularly naturally good at, there are companies out there that need you. So absolutely. Like, go back to school if you want to. I remember when I went back to school, I remember I had somebody who was in their like early 60s who went back. There was actually, you know what? I still remember too, when I went to Dove S. Simmons film course. My first day, I was sitting beside the guy who played the dad in my Big Fat Greek Wedding. I forget, he's passed away, but the guy, you remember the dad who would spray everything with Windex? And I remember at first day's break, I went and had lunch with him, and I said, like you've been in the industry for a long time now. Like he was older. I didn't say you're older. I said, but you've been in the industry a long time. Like, why are you coming to a class like this? He goes, I want to learn new things. I want to do some producing, and I want to do this. And like, it's like, that's awesome. Absolutely. Pursue what you're happy. Pursue what you're passionate about. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. I said, absolutely. Pursue what you're excited about, man. So 100%. All right. What's next?
Bry Guy says TMNT versus Godzilla. The effects of the ooze mixed with Godzilla's gamma ray breath ends up mutating the Teenage Ninja Turtles to giant size. Isn't that like Gamora, or what was his name, the turtle? While the Big G ends up teaming up with Jet Jaguar to even the fight. Not that he needs help, just F it.
Man, that was nonsense.
Yeah, that was nonsense.
Bry Guy suggestions usually are.
But I love it.
All right, what's next?
Imagine how large those like nunchucks would be. Knock out a whole building. Vegas Drummer says, hey, John, took a trip to do Horror Nights Sunday.
Nice.
As well as, but before we did the WB tour. They surprisingly showed us a 5-second clip of Batgirl. I asked the guide, how is that possible? He said they just added it and wasn't sure how. Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, they probably still have images of it.
Dude, now I gotta go see that tour so I can.
The WB tour is actually, like, I've been on the lot plenty of times.
I like the WB tour.
But if you're just gonna go to visit to do the tour, it's a fun little tour.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's, how long was it? About 90 minutes?
Something like that.
They'll actually take you into some actual sound stages and sets where they shoot ongoing series and shows. I remember the first time I took it, they took us into the Two Broke Girls set. It was actually like the diner set in the sound stage, but then they take you to the wardrobing department and all this kind of. It's a really cool thing. I'm shocked they're showing some Batgirl.
That feels dangerous.
It feels like it might have been, maybe it was something else that looked like Batgirl, because they have buried that. But if it did accidentally get slipped in, you got to see more of Batgirl than a lot of other people did.
Yeah.
We were also at Horror Nights on Sunday.
Yeah.
We had a great time. I enjoy Horror Nights. I like it. I go every year. I love it. All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher says, I watched the Matlock reboot. It was good, and the twist was interesting. All I'll say is that with Matlock being a show in the show, Matlock being a show in the show, and her name being Matlock, it is more than just a coincidence. It's a really interesting take.
Yep.
I did like when they were kind of like listening to the theme song.
Bum, ba, da, bum, ba. Yeah, they played it on their phone, had a picture of Andy Griffin on it. Again, listen, I don't give a squat. I don't watch any CBS shows. There's even a couple I want to watch, like the guy from This Is Us. Tracker, that's right. Like that looks like my kind
So
of show.
you do watch CBS procedurals.
I don't. I just
but I
know
see
them.
I just see the commercials for them all the time when I'm watching
You guys
football.
probably audition and stuff
So
all
I
the
don't
time.
watch any CBS shows, but Kathy Bates saying first, it's a courtroom procedural and Kathy Bates saying, "This is it. This is my last hurrah. This is my last dance, and then I'm going to be done with acting." I just decided, all right, I'll tune in. Listen, I got to tell you, I'm surprised how much I enjoyed it. It's not one of the greatest things on TV, but I had fun with it. I think a lot of you guys would too. All right, what's next?
Renetta says, "What's up, crew? That first episode of Penguin was so good. Can't wait for the next episode. Enjoyed Agatha all along. Characters were funny. Liked them all. Also caught Ryan Coogler's and Mike B's teaser trailer for Sinners. Looks good."
Yeah, again, listen, right now I'm so happy. It's been a while since I've been happy being a TV fan because right now I've got 3 shows running that I'm legitimately enjoying. Agatha on Wednesdays. Rings of Power's Thursdays, right?
Yeah.
Rings of Power Thursdays and Penguin on Sundays. It's a good time, man, to be a fan, and I'm just surprised how much I'm liking all of these. And yeah, that Sinners trailer looks really, really sharp. I'm starting to get excited about that. All right, what's next?
Luke Stockton says, "Rewatched one of my favorite horror thriller movies recently, The Barbarian, and thought the marketing of the film was good, getting us to think Skarsgård was the killer. I thought it was a good misdirection. What is your favorite horror thriller movie to watch?"
Man, getting a lot of horror.
A lot of genre stuff, yeah.
Well, we're getting close to Halloween.
Yeah.
Favorite horror thriller to watch. I don't know. I again, I don't keep a list of that in my
and I'd
head.
have to look up a list of
I mean, if
stuff,
somebody
like-
threw 10 names at me, I might be able to pick one.
You could say Quiet Place.
But that's not a thriller.
Or
I think it is.
Horror
Is it?
thriller.
You think Quiet Place is a
Abigail?
thriller?
I think so.
Abigail,
Abigail.
also not a thriller. Well, I take that back. Abigail kind of is a bit of a thriller.
With a little comedy in there.
I did like Abigail.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I like Abigail. That's kind of fun.
Misery would be like a horror thriller.
Misery's definitely kind of like, you know what else was, I just brought this up on the show the other day. You know what was a pretty good horror thriller? Was Elizabeth Moss's Invisible Man.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice little horror thriller.
We got The Witch.
I guess Doctor Sleep would be a horror thriller. I like Doctor Sleep.
Well, wait, I don't know that I call it horror thriller. I really enjoyed, which one you say, Dr.
Doctor
Sleep?
Sleep.
Yeah, the one with Ewan McGregor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I surprisingly like that.
What about Black Phone?
Black Phone. Yeah, I was about to say
Black
that.
Phone was another good one recently.
Yeah.
Or The Menu.
Oh, I wouldn't call that horror.
Yeah, but
You
Boy,
know what?
The
I
Menu was
actually
good.
movie I actually did like The Cabin in the Woods with Chris Hemsworth, I think.
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh, yeah, the one that Joss Whedon wrote.
Yeah.
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 That was
That's a
good.
good. Again, I
Bradley
wouldn't call
Whitford
it a
yelling
thriller.
"Tequila is my lady."
I wouldn't call it a thriller. That was literally they literally wrote that script in one weekend.
Wow, I loved it.
Isn't that crazy? They wrote the script for that movie in one
So
weekend.
would you consider like shark movies horror thriller?
No, they're not thrillers. Yeah, so a thriller is like more of a
Like I Know What You Did Last Summer things?
like a horror but no, I would not count natural. Like there's pure horror, but then there's like a horror thriller. Like, you know, it's a great example of a thriller is Michael Douglas, Glenn Close, super iconic film of
Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction. That's a thriller, right?
Oh.
It's not a horror thriller.
because you
that's
can
a
have
thriller.
psychological thrillers.
Yeah, so you got horror, you got thrillers, and then sometimes you get those where they kind of meet in the middle.
Yeah,
So
like Get Out would be like a psychological.
Shutter Island. I think Shutter Island's a good example of a horror thriller. That's a really good. Who
Rear
put that in?
Window's a great example. too.
Blonde Ninja said that in the live chat. I like that one. All right, what's next?
Luke Stockton says, oh, he's back. So went and watched Speak No Evil the other week. It's not as great as I was hoping it to be, but man, can James McAvoy play a great psycho. He is easily the best part of the movie. Makes me want to watch the original Dutch film. Have you seen it yet?
No.
I have seen I have seen this one, not the original Dutch film.
I have not seen the original Dutch film either. So I hear all the people talk. But I am curious when people say, "Oh man, they changed the ending from the original Dutch." Like, well, how did they end the original Dutch? James McAvoy. I mean, when an actor blows you away in a movie that you didn't particularly love, and I thought Speak No Evil was good.
I did
I
too.
think it's good. I don't think it's amazing or anything like that. But when an actor can wow you in a movie that doesn't wow you, that's impressive. James McAvoy, he's one of these guys that is literally gets better and better every time I see him. It's like he's adding new dimensions to his tool set every time we see him on screen. And he's just, he's so good. All right, what's next?
TJ Perry says, warning for anyone planning to see Demi Moore's The Substance. Eat beforehand because there's zero way you can eat while watching. Incredible surrealist body horror, but I thought a full AMC meal that I barely ate 2 bites of because this movie is a lot.
You know, I still
Eat during
haven't
the
watched
trailers.
this, but I know when I saw that trailer, I'm like with Demi Moore, I'm like, I gotta see this.
I knew it was not for me immediately. I went, no, thank you very much. I hope you all enjoy.
But it looks like they make like serious social commentary in it as well,
Yeah.
too. And if you can blend that, I'm all for it. And a lot of people, I've heard many people saying this is the best performance of her career.
Oh, yeah. All
So-
my friends who are super into horror are obsessed with this movie. They
Yeah.
love it. They think it's great.
I gotta see it.
That's right.
All right, what's next?
Okay, we got I'm Tired. He says 6 movies in theaters in 5 days, and glad to say I loved them all. Wolf's fun, Azrael bloody, Never Let Go tension filled, My Old Ass Sweet, The Substance wild, Whiplash re-release brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Did the early showing of Transformers 1 a week ago.
Wait, I didn't know Wolves.
It's out.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
out, limited.
it's actually playing at.
I knew they were doing a limited release, but I didn't know they did it already.
Yeah. Well, it's. I think it's happening now.
I don't think it's playing near us.
No, well, it's not in AMC by us, but it is at the Regal in
Yeah.
North Hollywood.
I was gonna
So
say.
it's like very select theaters.
I am looking forward to that because that's John Watts directed that, right?
Yeah. But
The
it
guy
is
who directed
very
the three
limited release.
Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, directing George Clooney and Brad Pitt.
Yep. Right.
I still don't know why that movie was supposed to be a wide release. I have no idea why they pulled the plug on that. Anyway, all right, that sounds like a great lineup, man. Well done. All right, what's next?
Anonymous says, "Hi guys, I'm coming to the U.S. for the first time in February. I'd like to experience Captain America 4 on opening weekend in the best cinema, screen size, sound, decent price, cinema chain. You do okay. I'm just gonna throw this out here. If you can do the Chinese theater, because I know it's gonna play at the
he's saying he's
Chinese
gonna be in
theater.
Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Yeah, bring up the question again. I'm pretty sure he did. He's like Orlando. Yeah, he'll be there in
Orlando.
Yeah.
So I think
So
Universal
no going to the Chinese.
has like a huge IMAX
Yeah,
there.
you can go to the
Yeah.
City Walk there.
Yeah, Universal City Walk is probably going to be. Now, again, we don't live in Orlando, so I have no
Yeah.
idea. But Universal
Well,
does have a big.
They changed so much stuff from when I was an intern too. Because I used to go to the Virgin Record store and I'd go get new albums and then I'd go see movies by myself.
But I think their City
Disney.
Walk stuff is still there.
City Walk still is.
Yeah.
Disney had a really sweet setup for a while though.
So that will probably be your best bet.
Yeah.
Either way, enjoy your visit, man. I hope
Yeah.
you have a good time.
I'm glad you're going to Florida in February and not August.
Oh
like
my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah. Also, the parks are going to be empty. It was
Yeah.
so fun.
you're gonna
Oh,
enjoy yourself.
All right, what's next?
Qui-Gon Gin and Tonic says, "Sorry, I forgot to put my name with the cinema question. So here's another tip."
Oh, well, thank you, Qui-Gon. I
What's
appreciate
that?
that. I'm going to assume Qui-Gon's not your real name anyway, but well, and again, have a great time. I hope you have a lot of fun. I really I've only been to Orlando once, and that's when we went for Star Wars Celebration that one year. And I really enjoyed the town. I had a good time, so I hope you have fun there. All right, what's next?
Mr. I says, just a little nerd stat. On this day in 1889, a little company called Nintendo was founded. Yes, Nintendo is 135 years old. Yeah, they were a card company.
I remember sometimes when I go to bed at night, I'll just pop on Pawn Stars clips on YouTube. I don't know why they help me fall asleep. So they had a guy bring in a board, like an old board game from like the 1970s and said, I've got an old Nintendo game for you. And they brought in this board game. And that's the first time I ever found out that Nintendo was making things before they were making video games. I certainly, though, I still didn't know they were around since the 1800s.
Yeah. They
That's
used to make
crazy.
playing cards.
Did they?
Yep.
I didn't know. Yeah. So now I know they made playing cards and board games and all types of stuff. All right. What's next?
Anonymous says, with Jurassic World Rebirth coming out next year, what are your thoughts on Primitive War, which was dinosaurs in the Vietnam War? Though I have pretty big hopes for this one, as it's something different. I mean, I'll still see Jurassic World Resurrection.
I have never heard
Rebirth,
of Primitive War.
Resurrection.
Yeah.
Wait, is this a movie that exists or is this a movie that's coming out?
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
Ray, why don't you look at
one way or
Primitive
the
War?
other, I've never heard of it. So, using dinosaurs in the Vietnam War. I mean, sign me up.
I mean, or there's just dinosaurs in the jungle or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So yeah, I do not know. I've never heard of this, so I don't know. But now I'm going to keep my eye open for it.
All
All right, what's next?
I am Cornholio.
Okay,
says-
Primitive War
Oh,
is a sorry.
Yeah.
Primitive War is a novel series centered around an outbreak of dinosaurs and other extinct animals during the Cold War. So yeah, it is placing dinosaurs in sort of.
So maybe they're making a
So it's a-
film or
and
maybe
there's
just a book.
there's someone posted like a film update, so maybe there's something that's going on. with
maybe.
that. I don't.
All right, we'll keep my eyes
I
open.
kind of
for it.
want to check out the series, the book.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, since you look so much like Zoe Deschanel,
Oh.
my question is: does
Thanks
Logan?
for shrugging.
I don't know. I've never heard that before. My question is: does Logan ever give her bad movies a pass because of you? Because my wife looks so much like Mila Jovovich, so I can never dislike one of her movies, like Ultraviolet or Resident Evil.
But how many movies does Zoe Deschanel have?
Not many.
Not many at
Not
all.
many.
Like there's 500 Days of Summer,
Yeah,
and
which is a great.
which is
movie.
great. And New
Especially-
Girl's great, but that's a TV
Yeah.
show.
Well, and New Girl is Logan's comfort watch show, so he watches all the
I
He is-
love
but
New
he's
Girl.
Nick.
But he's Nick, and
Yeah.
I'm thankfully not very Jess-like. I have tendencies, but he's absolutely Nick Miller.
You do always come in here playing the ukulele and singing.
Every time. I'm just, hey guys, I just wanted to sing a little song with all of you.
Do you know she's now, just for those of you guys at home, Zoe Deschanel's now married to one of the Property brothers.
Yeah. One of my first gigs here in LA was being her stand-in.
Really? Well, that tracks.
Yeah.
You've definitely got Zoe Deschanel energy.
I have the vibes. I
Yeah,
have that.
you
I
got
have
that vibe.
quirky, big-eyed girl stuff.
All right, what's next?
Well, I'm Team Benjamin Gibbard, so. Anonymous says, to go on about what you spoke about yesterday with Star Wars toxic fandom, they need to learn from you. Don't yuck on others' yums. Just cause you don't like something doesn't others means others don't have to hate it as well.
Yeah, again, listen, there's a lot of things to not like. There's many things I don't like, right? That's fine to not like something. It's when you see certain like blogs or podcasts or YouTube channels make it their mission to heighten the hate for something and get others to hate it. And there's something wrong with you if you don't hate it. And it's weird because there's a lot of things they hate that I hate too, but for very different reasons. I don't know why. A friend just sent this to me the other day. This is an older one, but this should be film fans' attitudes. Man, says one guy, I loved Rise of Skywalker. The other guy says, really? Wow, I didn't care for it at all. They're just looking at each other. I can see how one might not like it, and I respect your opinion. And the other guy says, I'm glad that you found joy in it. And in the background are these toxic, basement dwellers saying, that's not how it works. But this is exactly how film fandom should work. We should be able to say, I loved this and I hate this, and just say to each other, you know what? I didn't myself, but I'm glad you did. Yeah, and I did like it, and I'm sorry that you didn't enjoy it. And that should be the extent of it. And we can have some fun, nice little conversations about why we liked it and why we didn't like it, and be like, hey, you know what? Listen, for me, I hated The Rise of Skywalker. Everybody knows that. I hated that movie. But I love if somebody else loved it. That's great. I mean, I hated it, and I've got my reasons, and I'll tell you my reasons if you want, but that doesn't mean I want you to not like it. That doesn't mean I want other people to not have joy in it. And that should be the film fan community. It's like, you hated it? Oh, that sucks, man. I wish you liked it. You liked it? Well, I'm glad that you did. That should be it.
And you know what would be cool if people just didn't talk?
Like full stop.
Yeah.
And dinosaurs in Vietnam.
Yeah, that would also be very cool. All right, what's next?
King David of America says, after watching Thunderbolt's trailer, I want to go see this. Sentry is going to be overpowered and invincible, but jokes aside, how would these guys even stop a guy who's basically Marvel's version of Superman?
I was watching this morning when I was getting my breakfast ready. I popped on Comics Explained. I really like, by the way, I highly recommend that YouTube channel. It's great. And he was given a theory that there's not a lot to back it up, but it's a good theory, is that it's basically the same Weapon X program that ultimately creates Sentry. So that Sentry isn't going to be, this Robert guy breaks into a place to get his drug fix and he steals a formula, but rather he is a test subject like an Unto a Captain America or a Logan or whatever, and he ends up being the byproduct of that experiment.
That's a better angle, to be honest.
Yeah,
if
that
they
would
put a
work.
druggie in a Marvel movie, that doesn't. I don't think that would sit well with a lot of Disney folks.
Yeah, so like a version of a Weapon X program, a version of a super soldier serum. And
Isn't
so it's going to be interesting to see if that's the direction they go.
Isn't
with
it ultimately though the Void that gives him that invincible power?
No. The Void. See, okay, so he becomes this all-powerful thing.
Yeah.
But he's got personality disorders.
He's
The Void
schizophrenic.
doesn't. The Void wasn't a separate entity. The Void is him.
Oh, okay.
But the darker urges of him.
Gotcha.
The darker side of him. And he's got to keep that in check. It's not like the Void is a separate entity that then came and possessed him. It's him.
Yeah.
I feel probably in this movie we might only see him at not the Sentry. I think that part where the bullets are falling. I think.
By the way,
he
I
might
watched
just fly
that.
away.
Those aren't bullets hitting him and falling to the ground. Those are bullets coming out of a gun as they're firing.
Oh,
Like
okay.
the bullet.
But they do
casings
hit him
are
because he
coming
has
out.
bullet holes in his shirt.
Yes, so they clearly do hit him, and they clearly don't hurt him. All right, what's next?
Buck's basement. You don't go in there.
No.
So hyped for One Piece season 2. I absolutely love that it looks like they're doing, or they're going to Detective Pikachu route with Tony Chopper. I don't know why that made me laugh. Was wondering from Chris what she thinks of how Chopper looks from the tease we got at Geek Tweak.
I love him.
Chopper's the little dog or the little.
He's like a little moose kind of guy.
Oh, I
I
gotta
love
see
him.
this trailer.
I
I
love him
didn't
or a
know there-
deer, I guess.
I didn't
I
know he
love
was
him so
coming.
much. He's precious. He's a little weirdo.
I don't know if I'm going to like season 2 or not. I just know I was really pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed season 1. I thought it was really good. All right, what's next?
Bry Guy says, John, have you ever seen Bandits from 2001? It's not a great movie, but I thought both the performances in it and the soundtrack were both good.
I cannot remember.
Bandits.
It sounds familiar. Definitely not the 20. Not Time.
Not Time
Oh,
Bandit.
the Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah. I love that movie. I think it's fun.
I liked it. Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah, it's not one I go back to and rewatch a lot. And quite frankly, I haven't thought about it in ages. But yeah, I liked
a fun time.
Bandits. Yeah. All right.
God,
what's
I think
next?
I've seen that once, and I kind of forgot about it. Jesus Christ says, John, when you were talking about the first episode of Matlock, you revealed there was a twist. Can you not do that?
Let's go
the
back in
revelation that there's a twist is a spoiler.
No, okay, like stop right there. It's fucking not. I'm so fucking tired of that. Every story ever written by man has a twist, right? Some are extreme twists, some are minor twists, but every story has a twist. And to point out, not everyone is like an M. Night Shyamalan twist that completely changes our whole perception of everything. But every story is. We meet our characters, they're going about their day, when something happens. That's every story. Hearing there is a twist in it, I'm just saying the twist really kind of got me. Every story has a twist. Knowing there's a twist is not a spoiler because every fucking story has a twist. Stop it. Stop this nonsense.
Plus, you don't even know when it happens and what it is.
Can you please stop telling us that the character has dinner? Don't say. You gotta.
The twist
come
is
to
it's
the
breakfast
understanding
for
that
dinner.
every story ever written has some kind
Breakfast
of a
for
twist.
dinner.
I'm not saying it's an M. Night Shyamalan. So no. And the only story that doesn't have a twist is literally if the show starts and Maddie Matlock sits down to have dinner and does so for 45 minutes and then the end credits roll. That's the only way you don't have a twist. Every story has a twist of some kind to a certain degree. All right, anyway.
Look at what you did. I hope you're happy.
Okay, what's next?
Mr. I says, my car loan company is similar to Cineplex. There's a $5 convenience fee if I pay online or over the phone. Same with my freaking...
Yeah, when you make a payment.
No, yeah, same with my utilities bill. If I want to pay my utilities bill, I get charged extra for doing it online. What am I
That's so
supposed to
dumb.
send mail it
Yeah,
check?
no, it's just a way for them to squeeze more money for free.
Yeah.
Let's get more money for free out of these people. I hate that.
They
I
call
hate
it the credit
so
card
much.
process.
But if he sends a physical, a check, there has to be physically removed and scanned. What's the convenience about that?
Yep, and that's why Canada has these anti-dripping laws, drip charges. So
you
anyway,
go and drive and you give them cash, they'll still give you.
they'll figure out another way. They'll figure out another way. All right, what's next?
Fry Guy says, Chris, a spin-off prequel to Alice in Wonderland, a psychological dark fantasy thriller focusing on the origins of a Cheshire cat by Vivzy Pop.
The has-been hotel person.
Would be wild. And Ray, eat red hot cinnamon pumpkin spicy nacho cheesecake. They're delicious.
Ooh.
Cinnamon pumpkin spicy nacho cheesecakes.
Well, it's definitely something that'll never be on my menu. That's
Red
Yeah.
hot.
I can't handle spicy anything. Like somebody might say, John, would you ever go on hot ones? It's like I wouldn't even make it to the table.
Oh, I get those hot sauces for fun.
Oh no, they
They're
kill me.
best. Oh, I love them.
When I order wings, I have to order sweet honey barbecue or like garlic parm, even mild. I can't eat mild wings. Too hot for me. I know it's my dad dips his head in shame whenever he's like barbecuing up jalapenos and wants to put in spicy stuff. I'm like, I can't eat that, Dad.
Dude, Logan did not believe your like threshold for spice
very
until we
low.
ate at Disney.
Oh, that's
when
where
you
we
were
went to
like,
dinner?
the blackened chicken, could it not be? And he was like, what is happening?
Yeah. Oh, oh no, it kills me. I have no tolerance for spicy.
That's wild.
It was
I love
funny because
spicy
I
food.
like spices, but not the hot
heat stuff,
spicy.
yeah.
The heat stuff absolutely
I
floors
love
me.
it. Clean my
I would
sinuses
just
out.
smell the wings and I would tap out.
I think that's why I can handle it though, because I can't smell. So I don't think I can
Really?
taste it as much. Yeah,
Oh, that's
that
fascinating.
might be why.
All right, what's next?
Okay, Cody Hunt Film says there's 2 music videos I think you should check out. Both Zach Bryan songs. They're essentially short films. One is called The Nine Balls, starring Matthew McConaughey and Ty Sheridan. The second is called Oak Island, starring Casey Affleck. They're really
Now,
great.
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that Zach Bryan is a country artist.
Sounds like it.
Okay. All respect to everybody who loves country music. I cannot stand country
Just
music.
watch it on silent.
Yeah, I can't stand
you-
country music. I've never, ever since I was a teenager, I could never stand country music. I'm not saying anything bad about country music, just that it's definitely not for me. So I have no idea who that person is because I pay no attention to country music, nor do I have any intention of going and tuning into country music. Hey, it's just the same as I'm sure the many fine people out there, there's certain types of music I listen to that go, oh, I don't listen to that kind. That's fine. Just country music is not for me. It's just not for me.
I'm going to give you guys, okay, here's one you guys can look up after the show, which is soon. Jake Gyllenhaal in the music video for Time to Dance by the Shoes. You watch it. And
No, I'm not a shoes guy.
no. It's
I'm not a shoe
don't ruin
guy.
this because people are going to believe that and be like, oh, it's about shoes. It says by the Shoes. It's called Time to Dance with Jake Gyllenhaal. It's an awesome video.
Okay.
He's a serial killer. There you go.
Oh, okay. Are you the one who keeps DMing me about my feet, Ray?
Oh, dear.
Anti-shoe over
Yeah,
there?
he don't
Oh,
like
dear.
shoes, just feet.
All right, what's next?
Okay, we got some time here, so we can do a couple of our members.
Yes.
Rewatched The Prince of Egypt on Netflix. To this day, it's honestly my favorite DreamWorks movie ever. In my opinion, they're the best film ever. The music, animation, the voice acting. I'll admit the story of Moses is one of my favorite in the Bible. I
got
can't
to- I-
remember that movie.
I do not believe it is DreamWorks'
saw
best
it.
movie, but I really like Prince of Egypt.
They go so hard on the music in that, and
They
they
do.
did not have to.
Oh my God! Actually, there's like I still look at your life through heaven's eyes. I love that song. Love that song. I think the movie's really, really good. That was Val Kilmer, did the voicing that one. I really, really enjoy that movie. I think it was really. I don't think it's DreamWorks' best, but I think that's a very, very good movie. All right, what's next?
We got Swanold. Hey, John and crew, what do you think is next for the Sony Marvel Universe after Venom 3? More villain origins, crossover with the MCU?
Well, the MCU has no desire to do a crossover with them. Probably, yeah, more secondary Spider-Man characters. I mean, they have to continue to make something because that's the way they keep the rights to the character. That's the way they keep the rights to Spider-Man. And they don't want to give up Spider-Man, and they never will. So, probably, I mean, look, maybe I'm being naive, and maybe the Venom movies were a fluke, because I think the Venom movies are quite good, especially the first one. Morbius and Madam Web. I am choosing to believe that Craven will be more likened unto Venom and less like Morbius and Madam Web. I have nothing to base that on other than, well, they have much better people behind the scenes working on those movies than they did with Morbius and Madam Web. So probably, well,
yeah, might as
in
well
that
just sign
case,
out.
you know what? That will call it a day. So that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show podcast. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in and joining us for today. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in the questions. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it, and all of us involved with the show. Thank you guys so very much for your support. I want to thank the people in the room with me, Ray Ora,
Hey, see you guys tomorrow.
Jonathan Voico,
All right, guys. See you later.
Chris Carr.
Bye.
My name's John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.